This book is inspired by jokes collected from around the world. If you're someone who wants to unwind after a long day, this book is just for you. Two traffic police officers are chatting. Why are you rubbing your hands so much? Because I'm cold. Then why don't you put your hands in your pockets? I've got my gloves in there. Dr. Ron is driving on a snowy road at high speed. Good morning. Good morning, officer. Young man, are you driving at 80 kilometers per hour on this icy road? Are you trying to get to the hospital? Dr. Ron slick. Yes. Good answer, smartass. Are you being clever? No, I'm a doctor. After clearing things up with the officers on his way to the hospital, Dr. Ron Slick listens to the radio. For sale, a parachute used only once. It was never opened. Latest sociological studies show that an idiot will always find another idiot to admire them. Celebrities: Chuck Norris threw a grenade, killing 15 enemies. Then the grenade exploded and killed the remaining 5. Chuck Norris once took a polygraph test, and by the end of it, the polygraph confessed everything. Time waits for no man, unless that man is Chuck Norris. When asked about his secret, Chuck Norris said, "I drink a mug of nails instead of coffee in the morning." Live listener questions. Could stupidity be the reason for divorce? It's possible, but more often stupidity is the reason for marriage. My child doesn't like fish. What can I substitute it with? A pelican. Pelicans love fish. Which capital is bigger, London or England? Alley nuts, is that you? Arriving at the hospital, Dr. Ron Slick calls his mother. Hello, Mom, don't panic, please don't panic, but I'm at the hospital. Ron, you've been a doctor for 10 years. Stop saying that every time you call me. At the hospital, waiting for Dr. Slick, a nurse invites Anna Nuts to undress and lie on the examination table, then leaves the room. A man in a white coat enters, looks at her and very surprised says, "Hey colleague, come here for a moment." Another man in a white coat enters the room, looks at Anna Nuts in disbelief, and calls for a third colleague. This colleague, also amazed, calls for another. This continues until there are 5 men in white coats gathered in the room. Anna Nuts asks, "Is it serious, doctor?" One of the men in white coats responds, "We don't know, ma'am, because we're painters, here to renovate the hospital." At that moment, Dr. Ron Slick enters and invites the painters to leave the room. After Anna calms down, Dr. Slick asks her, "How many times a week do you have sex?" Anna Nuts replies, "Every day, 3 times in the morning with John, 3 times at noon with Sam, 3 times in the evening with Tim, and twice a week with my husband, Billy." Dr. Slick says, "Ma'am, if you do that, you're ill." Anna asks, "Can you give me a diagnosis for this illness, doctor? I'm tired of people just calling me a slut." Before going to bed, Allie Nuts asks her dad, "Why do police officers sleep with 2 glasses next to them, one with water and one empty?" Her dad replies, "In case they get thirsty, or in case they don't." At 3 in the morning, her father, exasperated and woken from his sleep, snaps at Allie, "This is unbelievable! First you woke me up because you were thirsty, then because your doll was thirsty, then because the cat was thirsty. Now what is it?" Allie Nuts says, "I just wanted to ask if you were thirsty too." Allie tells her dad, "Dad, I wish I had a little sister." Smiling, her dad replies, "My beautiful girl, you do have a sister, but you don't see her because when you come in the front door, she goes out the back door." Allie Nuts asks, "Do you mean she's like my other daddies?" Her father, confused and alarmed, "Other daddies? What are you talking about?" Allie explains, "They're bad daddies, not good like you." Her dad asks, "Why do you say that?" Allie Nuts answers, "Because Mama sleeps so peacefully next to you. She doesn't do that with the other daddies. Those ones make her scream so loud." Billy, furious after being cheated on again, confronts his wife. "How can you cheat on me?" "Did you enjoy the food?" "Yes." "Did you enjoy last night?" "Yes." "And you think you learn these things in part-time classes?" Billy, frustrated. "I'll find someone for myself, too." "What do you mean?" "Are you jealous?" "No, I'm not." Billy, sarcastic. "You're the most jealous woman I know." "How come?" "Do you know other women?" Wife, with mock sincerity. "If I die, you'll never find another woman like me." Billy retorts, "Who said I'd want another like you?" At school. Teacher, "Jimmy, what is a thermometer?" Jimmy, "A thermometer is a long little bottle where you store fever." The students are given an assignment. The story must take place in high society, have a religious theme, include love, and contain mystery. Jimmy finishes his assignment first. The Duchess said, "OMG, I'm pregnant again and I don't know with whom." Allie Nuts arrives at school exhausted and puts her head on the desk. Just as she's about to fall asleep, the teacher asks, Allie, can you sleep during my lesson? If you talk more quietly, I could. The teacher, annoyed, continues, Allie nuts, how many continents are there? 7. Can you name them? Sure, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. After returning from school, Jimmy starts making prank phone calls. First call, Jimmy. Hello? Fortune teller Veronica? Veronica. Yes, this is fortune teller Veronica. Jimmy. Guess who's on the phone? Second call, Jimmy. Hello, is this the slaughterhouse? Worker. Yes, Jimmy. Do you have a pig's head and feet? Worker. Yes, Jimmy. Wow, you're so ugly. Lily Slick, Jimmy Slick's mother, hires a maid from the countryside, Maria. Maria starts cleaning, and when she gets to Colonel Henry Slick and his wife Lily's bedroom, she finds a used condom under the bed. She picks it up with 2 fingers and looks at it in horror. Lily Slick sees her, blushes, and says, Maria, don't they have sex where you're from? Oh yes, ma'am, but not until the skin comes off. Allie Nuts says to her father, I've fallen in love with the neighbor and I'm going to run away with him. Very well, Allie, you won't get anything from me. I won't invest any more time or money in you. Dad, I'm just reading you the letter Mom left for you. On the way to her grandfather's room, Allie Nuts sees Grandpa walking through the house hunched over, leaning on a very short cane. At one point, Allie, full of compassion, asks, Rheumatism? No, my cane broke. Grandpa, did God make you? Yes, my dear, God made me, replies Grandpa. A few seconds later, Allie asks again, Grandpa, but did God make me too? Yes, my dear, replies Grandpa. For a few seconds, Allie studies her grandfather, then looks at her reflection in the mirror, back at Grandpa, and then back at the mirror. Finally, she says, You know, Grandpa, God has been doing a better job lately. Grandpa asks Allie, What's the name of that little German who keeps hiding my things? Alzheimer's, Grandpa. Grandpa, tell me a hunting story. Sure. Once I shot a duck. Was it wild? I don't know, but the farmer who chased me with a pitchfork was definitely wild. After returning from her gynecological exam, Anna Nuts receives a visit from her sister Gemma, and they start gossiping. Gemma says, You won't believe what happened to me last night. After midnight, someone knocked on the door. Sleepy, I went to open it. There were 4 men standing at the door, completely drunk. Dear lady, we came to escort your husband home, but we don't know which one of us he is. After much gossiping and victimization, Aunt Gemma gets ready to leave. Mom says to the child, Allie Nuts, Aunt Gemma is leaving. What should you say? I don't know. Well, what do I always say when Aunt Gemma leaves? Finally, that fat cow left. She ate all the food from the fridge.